Hello, this is Archie Dunlop with Talking Astrology with Archie on Wednesday, March the 1st, 2023. Now, I was reading the Daily Mail and there was another article, one of many, many articles on Harry and Meghan. And this article cited author Tom Bower, and it said that Meghan is money obsessed. Now that's interesting. She's money obsessed. Okay, a lot of people might already think she's money obsessed, but where does that fit in terms of astrology? How would one actually find an obsession with money if one looked at someone's horoscope? And that's something I'm going to look at in a few minutes. Now, before I do that, I'm going to look at today's stars. Now, the main feature of today is the moon's movement into the sign Cancer. The moon works very well in Cancer. The moon rules the sign Cancer. And so this is a time of emotion, of grounding, where we can get in touch with our feelings, where we can be nice to people. At the same time, we're going to be very conscious of our roots. We do need to be conscious of our roots. If we lose touch of our roots, we're going to go all over the place. Rather like the plants in my goldfish's aquarium. I haven't got them into substrate yet, and they're just floating around in the aquarium, and they just go here, there, and everywhere. And we don't want to be like that. Now, that could go too far. We could become too obsessed with our family, with the moon in Cancer, and perhaps put our family's interests before other things, which may be almost as important. So don't take the moon in Cancer thing too seriously or take it too far. And while this is going on, Venus and Jupiter continue to make their conjunction aspect. And the moon actually makes a square to Venus and Jupiter. And this is a bit of a two-edged sword. Yes, it's about emotion that is free-flowing, but it can also be about going too far. When you've got the moon and Venus and Jupiter together, there can be exaggeration. We might exaggerate and in the process not think about reality. So we might spend too much money, or when we meet people, we might be inappropriate in the way we express our feelings. It's not a time to be too gushing with our feelings and with our emotions. Some people are not emotional. Some people don't like exaggerated expressions of emotion. It makes them feel uncomfortable. And while this is going on, Uranus is on the Venus-Mars midpoint. Now, the Venus-Mars, are two fast-moving planets, and so we can track the midpoint of these two planets, rather like a combined planetary entity all of its own. And with Uranus on the Venus-Mars midpoint, there can be very fast expressions of emotion, passion, that kind of thing. Very fast in the sense that they happen quickly and they go away just as quickly. So if you meet someone who appears to find you wonderfully attractive, don't be fooled. This feeling might not last very long. Don't make plans for the rest of your life because someone tells you that you're completely wonderful and whatever, because their feelings might not last very long. They might last a day, 2 days. Once they see the reality of the situation, they could just move on. And also, Venus is making a square aspect to Hades. Hades, I've talked about Hades and Venus hitting Hades is going to be about love which has strings attached. So, yes, someone might want to express their love, but Venus Hades suggests that there may be an agenda going on. So that's something you have to be aware of. Now, going back to Meghan, I looked at her chart, and she's born at the beginning of August. Beginning of August, 1981. I think her birth date is August the 4th, 1981, and we do have a time of birth for her. Just going to check that I've got that right. So yeah, that's just having a quick look. I should have prepared myself. Yeah, August the 4th, 1981. Now, my dog is born on August the 5th, a bit different year, but I'm quite familiar with a living being born at the beginning of August. And, my dog is a really pushy bitch. She is a drama queen. She is a prima donna. She wants attention, and she's got a very nasty streak. She bites. She's already scarred me for life, and she's only 6 months old, but she is a ball of teeth and claws and fur, and prima donna with weapons. Okay, I'm not. So yes, so maybe maybe there's something. It's something about people born at the beginning of August. But no, with Meghan, we know exactly when she was born. She was born on August the 4th, 1981, 4:46 a.m. in California. Now we have to look at what makes her obsessed with money. I mean, assuming she is obsessed with money. Now, she has the sun in Leo, obviously, but it's very close to the second house cusp. Now, in astrology, the second house relates to money. And you might think, oh, that's great, having sun in Leo on the second house cusp. But the sun is quite overwhelming. It burns things out. It can burn things out. Whatever it touches, it can burn out. And I know that, we talk about sun signs, in the West. But in Indian astrology, the sun is considered to be a malefic. And it may be that her having sun in the second house is having a malefic influence. Yes, with that sun in Leo in the second, she's going to be rich. That's her fate. But at the same time, the sun burns things, and hence the obsession. We also have Venus in Virgo. Now, Venus is supposedly the planet of love, the planet of attraction, the planet of sympathy and emotion, and it's a very nice planet. It's the lesser benefic, Jupiter being the greater benefic, but it's in Virgo. Virgo is, Venus is exalted in Pisces, but in Virgo it doesn't work so well. It's fallen in Virgo. So Virgo is a sign which is all about details. It's all about material reality. So here's Venus, which is supposed to be all sort of emotional and into relationships and whatever. But in Virgo, it's being over-analytical. So at every point, it's analysing the situation. If Venus is with someone, they're always thinking about the details. How are they dressed? What do they look like? When they say something nice and romantic, they're thinking, well, what does it mean? What are the details here? And Venus is inevitably, perhaps, going to ask, how much is this person worth? So I think that Venus in Virgo in Meghan's chart is having an impact here. I should also say that she has got the moon in Libra conjunct Saturn in a woman's chart. the moon in Libra is the moon is arguably more important than the sun. So Libra is, someone who likes to be smooth and sophisticated, puts a great emphasis on how they appear, but that's how she is. But then it makes a conjunction to Saturn, and Saturn is quite a mean planet. It's quite vindictive, and when Moon hits is Moon with this conjunction to Saturn, that may make her obsessed with money. So I'm not going into huge detail, and of course I know that this is after the event. In every chart one can find something which suggests obsession with money. So I've just tried to look at some of the main features of her chart. I should point out one other thing, and I'm kind of going off the topic here a bit about money. But in a female chart, the male planets of the Sun and Mars often describe their partner, their husband, boyfriend, whatever. And further, if someone is born by day, it's going to be more the sun that describes the partner. If they're born at night, it's going to be more Mars. And Meghan is born before dawn. So Mars is going to describe her partner, and Mars is going to describe Harry. Now, it's not that Harry has got Mars in Cancer, but Mars in Cancer is the image of an emotional man, a man who is defensive, and because Mars is in the 12th house, a man who wants his privacy. So going back to remembering that South Park episode, the prince, what is it, the Prince of Canada, something like that, talking about how nice it would be to be away from social media and all of that. So Mars wants to get away from it all, but Mars is also defensive, angry, easily offended, and I do think that Mars in Cancer in Meghan's chart does describe Prince Harry. Now, that Mars in Cancer is interesting because it's very close to the degree of Diana's son. Princess Diana, if she'd still been alive, would have been Meghan's mother-in-law, has her son very close to 11 Cancer. So Meghan's Mars is close to a conjunction with Diana's son. Now that makes me think that if Diana had still been alive, that she and Meghan, I don't think they would have got on. I think they would have clashed. So that's kind of weird. I don't know whether Harry is looking for his mother in Meghan, but I don't think she is his mother, and I don't see too many links there. And that Sun-Mars thing, it does indicate if the two women just wouldn't have got on. I mean, it's all speculation because we'll never know what would have happened if they'd met, but it's something to think about. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I will see you tomorrow.